Welcome to our show, Old is Gold. Igolide endala enexabiso. Igama lam ndinguSybil Xapa.
And I'm Joan, Daries. And today our topic is a very painful topic. Today we're talking about elder abuse. Sybil, it's so sad that we should be talking about a topic like this with regards to elderly people, because we're now dealing with a very vulnerable group of people, and this issue, because in South Africa we have such high levels of violence and family violence and gender-based violence, that elder abuse just falls
Domestic
into
violence.
that whole category of abuse, and a very painful part of our lives.
And you know, Joan, talking about that, our children are on drugs.
Yes.
Our children are drinking. Alcohol is the main problem, major problem, leading to abuse adults.
Yes.
Because you will find out your own children are going to abuse you.
Yeah, and
Let
that's
alone
so very sad.
Other children.
Yeah,
that's the sad part.
Yeah, and I was doing some research on the topic, and I found an article written by Roxanne Jacobs, and it was in the newsletter Stride, which is published by the Center for Public Health at UCT. And in the article, she says that elder abuse is so underreported, and only about 4% of cases around the world are reported, which means that it's a big problem that is underreported, under-recognized, under-serviced, because we don't know enough about the problem. On average, they also say that 1 in 6 persons over the age of 60 experiences some form of abuse.
And Joan, besides that, now it's lockdown, COVID. People are retrenched at work, and they are frustrated, depression, and they will go and drink.
Yes.
And some will go and smoke these drugs.
Yeah.
Just to relieve stress.
Yes.
And the stress will drive them
yes.
to go and steal
from their
your own
parents,
and from
yes.
anybody else.
Yes.
That is why these days there are a lot of crime.
Yes. And elderly people suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia, they are extremely vulnerable.
It's worse.
And even in institutions, you know, it really takes a very special person to be able to work with elderly people who are suffering from dementia, because their behavior is erratic, and it cannot be, you know, easily controlled, and it's very easy, you know, you'll see the person with blue marks all over them, and
besides the blue marks and so on, sometimes, you know, when you've got dementia, you see, you are like, your mind is not functioning at all.
Yeah.
So you will talk things that will not make sense.
Yes.
And you will see people that other people
or you'll do things, you know.
And you will say, probably, there's somebody in that wardrobe. Yes. And then people will think you are a witch.
Oh my goodness, yes,
exactly
that
what
too.
Is happening
yes.
in our society, in our communities.
Yes,
these
of
days.
course.
They think because this woman is very ugly and dark in complexion and dementia, she is a witch. Or this man, he is a witch. So our people will say, this one is talking about there are people in the wardrobe, meaning all these people who are dying. You know, so she is involved with them.
With witchcraft.
With, you know, witchcraft and so on. And start doing something to
them, to hurt them.
To hurt them.
Oh, that's
which
so
is so
sad
in our society. It is so sad, Joan.
So, Sybil, as you know, we're going to be interviewing representatives from 2 organizations today. The first one is Age in Action, which is an umbrella body for for organizations dealing with senior citizens. And then Ikamva Labantu, which you know very well.
Yes, we are going to interview
Yes.
Nosisa.
That's right.
Thwalikhulu.
That's right,
Who
yes.
is a social worker at Ikamva Labantu
Yes.
in Khayelitsha.
Yes, so we will ask them some pertinent questions that can throw some more light on the matter, and then also with the view of what it is that we can do to counteract the problem of elder abuse. I always think that in all our families, we need to have at least one person who takes responsibility for making sure that there's no child abuse happening in the family, there's no elder abuse happening in the family, so that we really can create caring families and caring communities and a more caring nation.
And also we need to equip them.
Yes.
And give them like whistles. If something happened at night, they must blow their whistles.
Yes.
That's what I normally do when I give these talks in Khayelitsha. I said, guys, have a whistle
Something.
And blow, this whistle, so that people can come and rescue you if there's a problem.
Yeah. That's such a good idea, and it's such a simple way of alerting somebody out there that you're in trouble, that somebody is trying to harm you. But wait, Sybil, we've got to go to a break now. After the break, when we have our first interview, we'll be able to talk about the issue some more. I know there's just so much to say, but do come back after the break. Welcome back to Old is Gold, where our topic is elder abuse, and we're going to be carrying on with an interview with Ikamva Labantu, and Sybil will conduct the interview.
Siyanamkela kwakhona kwinkqubo yethu ethi Old is Gold. Igolide yethu endala enexabiso. Now we are going to interview Nosisa Thwalikhulu, osebenza kwi-organization ekuthiwa Ikamva Labantu, where she serves as a social worker. Nosisa, siyakwamkela enkqubeni.
Enkosi ndiyabulela.
Tell us about yourself, Nosisa, and your work that you do with seniors at Ikamva Labantu.
Okay, enkosi igama lam ndinguNosisa Thwalikhulu. Ndihlala eGugulethu. I am single parent. Ndisebenza eKamva Labantu as a social worker. 80% wam ndisebenza kwi-elder persons. 20% wam ndisebenza other cases like children and their families. Ndisebenza as under i-psychosocial department. Ndi-provide social support with 21 clubs by providing psychosocial services to seniors and home-based seniors. Yes, we as Ikamva Labantu also offer the support to the families and their children. Ikamva Labantu is playing a huge role to our elderly people by promoting their well-being and treatment of conditions that afflict older persons, and to empower them to remain healthy. So as Ikamva Labantu, we also sibanikeza ukutya, food parcels every month to fight hunger as they are old, or as their pension is not enough for the month. So Ikamva Labantu is providing those food parcels also. Also, Ikamva Labantu, we are providing abuse awareness to radio, Zibonele FM, as social workers. Once a month, we educate them about what is the abuse, because ukwazi uba yintoni i-abuse.
Okay.
I-abuse yenzeka njani, yenzeka nini. Funeka uthini xa uzibona uabuswa as umuntu omdala. That is our aim as Ikamva Labantu social workers. So we did those offers.
And then what can you give to elderly people ingcebiso onoyinika bona xa umuntu omdala eabuswa?
Icebiso esibanike lona after siyenzile la education siye sibanike into yoba umuntu omdala makangahlali ebona into yoba ikhona into eyenzekayo kuye afila uncomfortable angayithandiyo makayiripoti. She or he can report to someone amthembileyo. Okanye njengoba behamba nasezikliniki une-right yoripota nakwinesi. Because inesi izarefera to the social worker. Uneripota nakwineighbor umuntu okufutshane naye. It's not easy ukuba mabaripote abantu abadala.
I know it's not easy at all.
We try by all means into yoba siba motivate, siba encourage into yoba mabangayi-normalize le nto yoba ingabi into yesiqhelo. Bayithathe for granted.
And then ke ngoku uthini kwifemily yakhe? Ungathetha uthini kwifemily yabo? Cebise ingcebiso nakwifemily, yenza ntoni ifemily yona kule nto?
Yes, even ifamily sithetha the same thing. Uba umama ekhayeni makafile comfortable. Uba umakhulu ufila uncomfortable, mabeleni as family members.
Yes.
Makamanyelwe umakhulu uba uthini na. Emva kokuba bathatha istep bayiripoti uba umakhulu ikhona into engamvisi kamnandi.
Yes.
Siyabamotivate ngezo nto mabaxele. Uba mhlawumbi okanye sometimes i-perpetrate iba inside. Iba ngumntu oyikwayo lapha kwi-family members. Noba sisenza eza home visit, oomakhulu sibavizithela as i-social workers, uye ubone xa u-observe into yoba there is something, kukhona lo mntu woyikwayo, le nto yenzeka apha ngaphakathi. So siye sizinike ixesha uqonda bafuneka uye several times until bafile comfortable ukuba bangayithetha le nto. Uba khona nokuyi-one umntu okwazi into yoba makayithethe le nto le-abuse eyenzekayo.
Yes. So ke Nosisa, ungacebisa uthini kubantu abadala into yokokubana bangaziprotektha njani bona? I remember thina phaa kuthi esitratweni sasike sathetha nabantu abadala sibacenga sibaxelela into okokubana mababe nee-whistles, bablowe ii-whistles xa kukho into embi eyenzekayo mhlawumbi kuye, avuthele i-whistle yakhe so that azokwazi ufumana uncedo. Nina, what advice can we give to them, abantu abadala, for ukuziprotect?
Yes, abantu abadala, they have a right according to their person's right. They have a responsibility to stand themselves also. It's not easy, I don't want to lie, it's not easy to them who expose abantu ababathandayo.
Yes.
Ngoba i-perpetrators most of the time ngabantu babakhulisileyo, ngabantu ababathandayo, ngabantu ababathembileyo. So it's not easy for them, but we motivate mamakulu. Try by all means into yoba le nto uyithethe kumntu ofutshane nawe. Umakhulu naye laa mzukulwana wakhe amthembileyo, lo amthandayo, amxelela iisekriti zakhe.
Yes.
So laa mzukulwana siye sithi makhulu xana laa mzukulwana wakho uba ikhona into engakuvisi kamnandi noba kayithethanga uba kwenzeka ntoni.
Okay. Mamela ke Nosisa, xolo ke mntana sekhaya. Ngoku sizayirepha apho, uthethe kamandi, utsho kwavokoteka. So ngenxa yexesha siyayirepha apho yonke into ngoku. Sininqwenelela ixesha elimnandi, nibe ne-strength kwikamva, niqhubekeke ngomsebenzi omhle eniwenzayo. sithi wuntshu kuni. Enkosi.
Yes.
Yabulela.
So, Sybil, I mean, I don't speak Xhosa, but I could catch the gist of that. And it's true that it's so difficult when it's your nearest and dearest that
Exactly.
you've got to go and report. And it takes a lot of courage. So that's why it's important for there to be this person in the family that kind of takes responsibility for making sure that no elder abuse is taking place in the
Exactly.
family. Because it's better to have that almost that watching system in the family, a family guard type of thing. We talk about a neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch,
You need a
exactly.
family watch of people who stand up in their families to be the ones to protect children and protect the elderly. You know, so it's not an easy topic.
It's as Nosisa says, it's not an easy
Easy
topic
topic,
at
yeah.
all.
So, listeners, that was our discussion for today. We could talk a whole lot more on the issue of elder abuse. And we hope that you have found some of the information informative. We've ran the HEAL helpline that you can phone if you feel that you need to speak to somebody. And we encourage families to take this issue up as a family issue in the intimacy of our homes. Let us protect our elderly and protect our children against all forms of abuse that happens right in the home. We hope that you will stay with us and be with us next week again for Oldies Gold on the People's Channel, Cape Town TV. Welcome back, CTV viewers, to our program Oldies Gold. And as we said earlier, today we're discussing a very, very sore topic. It's the topic of elder abuse. And we are so privileged to have with us in the studio today Irene Carroll Lewis, Irene Snell-Carrol. I knew I was going to get that wrong, the double barrel name. So Irene, welcome to Oldies Gold. And I mean, I'm looking at your bio. It says that you've got 36 years of experience working as a social worker.
Yeah.
That can't be right. You need to take 10 years off. You certainly don't look like somebody who's already been working for 36 years.
Yeah.
And then you've trained as a social worker.
Yeah.
You also had the opportunity to study abroad in New York and the Netherlands. So Agent Action is really honored to have you leading the Western Cape branch of the organization. Tell us why it is that you are so attracted to working with senior people, and tell us about the work of Agent Action.
Yeah, as a social worker, right in the beginning, I started with, in general, working, and then I found my niche. So that passion for older persons was always there. And in 2003, I joined the Aging Action, working with them. But before that, I was also involved with older persons. But then I started to do training and development work with older persons, because Aging Action is a non-profit organization who specifically work with older persons. That means 60 and older. So we have a lot of programs that we do, awareness and events. But the most important work that we do with the older persons is the investigation of elder abuse.
Oh, goodness. So I think, you know, we have this perception that abuse is only when somebody's been beaten or physically manhandled in some way. But elder abuse is more than just that. Won't you just explain to our viewers what encompasses elder abuse and where do we find it happening the most?
Yeah. So elder abuse, we've got, according to the Older Persons Act of 2003, we have, of 2006, sorry, we have 4 main categories of elder abuse. It's economic abuse, which is the financial part, And then we have sexual abuse. That is what's happening. And then also psychological abuse, as well as the physical abuse. So what happened in terms of specifically people, as you mentioned now, looking for the more physical part of it. But what is very common is the psychological part of abuse. And people don't realize how often that happens, specifically within families.
Oh, right where you're supposed to feel the safest.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a pity.
Older persons, the grandchildren maybe don't, treat the older persons correctly. They call them names. They say they're stupid. The word that they use is calling them the cuckoos, when they specifically maybe suffer a form of dementia.
Yeah, and Alzheimer's.
And
yeah.
Alzheimer's. And then they call them all these names. And that part is specifically what they also do in terms of the psychological part is to isolate the older person. You're in the family, staying in the same house, but you also not part, because they don't include you in anything, any decisions that they make, anything. You just have to follow whatever they decide.
Yes.
So
how does Age in Action, so let's say somebody in the work of the organization, a case comes to your attention, what is the process that you follow?
Yeah, it depends what the case specifics is. So that is specifically when they call, what they can do is, for instance, they can call the helpline, which we do have.
And we are, just for viewers to know, we are screening the helpline on the screen. Please write it down. It's an important number for seniors to have at hand.
Yes. So what if a case is reported? We take all the details. They can also use our office telephone number to report. They don't have to mention their name. They can stay anonymous. And they can give us all the details. We have social workers that goes out to the community, and then we will investigate the case. So, and whatever specifics, if it needs to take the necessary processes, like maybe apply for a protection order, or the case is maybe going to court, which our older persons are very scared of.
I'm sure, because, especially if it's happening in the home, it's a terrifying experience. I mean, just going to court for any reason, whether it's a traffic fine or whatever, it's a very intimidating experience. It must be quite frightening. So you walk the whole journey with the senior?
Definitely. We walk with them. We write the report. We ensure they understand the importance of the information in the report. So if the case goes to court, then they well aware of what the specifics of the report entails. And also, if we need to, we go with them, we support them, just being there to the support structure for them. Because as you mentioned, they're very frightened.
Yes.
And coming back to the circumstances where they're being abused in the house, that is terrifying.
I'm sure. So have you had much success in dealing with the cases and having the senior person now back in the family, reintegrated again? Does that happen very often?
Yeah, we try our utmost to resolve the issue outside of court.
Yes.
Because the family structure is very important for us. Because for a long time, they're going to be the support for the oldest person. So what we do is family conferences to resolve the issue.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, to support the older person instead of taking the older person out of the home.
Yes, and they feel like they've been punished again.
Exactly, and in most cases, it is the house belong to the older person. So we have a lot of successes in terms of resolve the issue outside of court. But if need to, we also attend the court and getting, if necessary, a protection order and ensure that the perpetrator
Yes.
rather goes
Yes,
instead
gets
of the
punished, gets
yes.
punished. That's good. So, senior citizens out there, this is not a topic that we want to talk about very often, but it does happen in our society more often than we think. Make use of that helpline, get help, tell somebody, but don't subject yourself to abuse when you don't have to. So we hope that you will take this good advice. And Irene, thank you so much for sharing this time with us and talking about this troubling issue. We really wish you well in the work that you do for our senior citizens. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for Oldies Gold today. And we hope that you will join us again next week, where we not only count the years, but make the years count.